Feast 2 and 3, a 2008 and 9 creature features directed by John Gallagher. When a small town is besieged by a legion of ravenous monsters, the residents must put aside their differences and work together in order to survive. But before we get into these Splatterfest sequels, I just want to ask that if you end up enjoying this video, then please consider dropping a like and comment, and maybe even subscribe, as it would really help my channel grow. So thanks. Also, there will be full spoilers ahead, but if that doesn't bother you, then grab your jelly beans flavoured popcorn and whip out your favourite chastity belt as we dive into Feast 2 and 3. So the movie begins where the first movie left off, with the survivors escaping and leaving the bar a little worse for wear. Sometime later in this new character rocks up on a motorbike. And you know what time it is, folks. That's right, it's time for a can of shippy. Bloody lovely. Oh, and according to the watch I'm not wearing, it's also time for a new character introduction. Then this dog trots by with a severed hand in its mouth. Hey dog, I'm looking for my sister. Can you give me a hand? No, finders keepers. Plus I don't have a posable thumb, so this'll come in handy, and... Why would she shoot the poor thing? It did nothing to her. Well, if you think that's horrible, Ken, I've got some bad news for you. We're only 2 minutes into the movie. God help us. Turns out the hand belonged to her sister, but then she gets jump scared by someone under a trailer. Oh, it's Bart Ender from the first movie, who didn't die from his heart attack neck gouge combo after all.
What do you know about this?
A severed hand? Well, it's got 5 digits and isn't connected to an arm anymore. But Misery isn't happy with that answer, so she pulls him over to her bike. Ah! Stop! This is a real drag! Then she tortures the poor old bugger until he tells her that it was Bongo's fault her sister died. And so they set off into town to find him. Then we cut to a few hours earlier, and hey, it's that Lao fella from Pirates of the Caribbean! Who is sat watching the news while his brother gets his rocks off in the next room. But then the monsters attack, so they both run away with Tripod's third leg swinging about like it's never swung before. Then we're at the police station where this fella is pacing in his cell. Because even when you're locked up, you've still got to get your steps in, haven't you? The name's Bond. Anyway, the sheriff doesn't like him because he smells like piss and shame. But then the monsters attack and he manages to grab the cell keys from the dead sheriff. Elsewhere, we meet the town's resident car salesman, who is on the phone but gives it a schmack on the table because it's been bad! Bad phone!
I fucking slash prices, remember that!
Then he too notices the monsters causing chaos outside, so he hops in his car to leave town, only to find his wife in the back with one of his colleagues. The next morning, an our biker bitch rocks up in town with her gang. Misery Cubed and the Expendables. Weren't they going to make an all-female Expendables movie called that? Yep, but you snooze, you lose. So they pack up next to this fella who is suffering from a mild case of decapitationitis. Excuse me, ladies, could one of you kindly move my body over here? I seem to have detached from it. Oh, you could just walk right past and ignore me. Fucking rude. Misery ends up finding Wanted and the others hiding in this store, but they haven't seen Bongo either. Oh, and just in case you think that story point is going to get wrapped up by the end of the trilogy...
You're wrong!
Meanwhile, outside, one of the gang sees something in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Nope, it's a terrible CGI car, which explodes and is followed by the monsters. So they shut the door, locking one of the Expendables outside who is killed by them. Then the entire back wall of the building falls down because... bleh, and they all ascend into heaven, or into the overexposed outside. One of the two. So they get chased by the monsters for a bit before getting split up again, with the Expendables heading for Bongo's house. But instead of finding Bongo, they find Henrietta Pheasant from the first movie, who, if you can remember, left everyone for dead by taking off in the truck on her own.
I'm taking this thing to Mexico.
Something which Bart Ender is rather unhappy about. And I can't really show what happens next, so I'm just going to do what I do best. Which is... I'm just going to make shit up. So Bart says, you know what? Let's just let bygones be bygones and have a nice cup of tea with a crumpet and blackcurrant jam. Oh, I prefer strawberry jam. Unfortunately, Henrietta then mistakes this window for the front door and falls out, the silly goose. Sorry, I mean the silly pheasant. The gang then meet back up with Wanted and the others, and make their way over to this building where Goatee, Tripod and their grandma are hiding. But I'm going to pretend their grandma doesn't exist, because everything involving her is so disgusting I really can't show any of it. Once inside, they all agree the only safe place to wait this out is the town jail, but that bell-end vagabond won't let anyone inside. So Wanted suggests they make a key for the police station because the Lau brothers are locksmiths.
It's 100 fucking yards away. How do you suppose I'm gonna be able to see it in order to make a key?
Why do you have a telescope? What a bizarre thing to just have on you. So while Goatee has a gander at the lock, I wonder what Henrietta Pheasant is up to. What were you climbing around in the ceiling for, you daft pheasant? Anyway, she finds a phone, but it's dead. Then finds a dead man, but it's also dead, leaving her at a bit of a dead end. Back to the others, and while the brothers go to get the key, 3G decides to dissect one of the dead creatures.
We need to know the enemy. What makes this thing tick?
It isn't a damn clock, 3G! And once again I can't show you most of the scene that follows, so here's one I made earlier. I know you're dead, Mr. Monster, but it's my birthday and I'd feel terrible if I didn't offer you a piece of birthday cake. Oh, thank you. Yum 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 yum. Hang on. Is there marzipan in this cake? No. That was a lie, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't watch this movie while eating. Or even at all. Back to Henrietta Pheasant, who is now struggling to get out of the shop she's in. But I mean, what kind of small-town store has unbreakable glass? And for God's sake, look at the sign, man. It's clearly just text edited in onto the wall.
Spared no expense.
To be honest, you should probably just wait there till morning, but I'm no monster evasion scientist, so what the hell do I know? 3G's dissection class is still ongoing, and they find something rather unusual inside the monster's chest. Well, would you look at that? But then the Lal fellas come back with the key they needed. But oh no! The monsters have found them and are trying to break in! So they all head up to the roof. The plan hasn't changed though, they still need to get into the police station where it's safe. And they have the key now, so they just need to get over there. But how? Back to our favourite pheasant, who is having a weird dream about kissing Dr. Clock from the first movie, which might just be the grossest thing we've seen so far. But then she wakes up to see something else I can't show you. Oh, this is ridiculous! Can you at least give us a hint? Let's just say there's a cat out there with a very sore bum.
How did it come to this?
And just when you think the movie can't sink any lower, the next morning our gang of roof rascals hear a baby crying down on the street somewhere. But 3G can't sit by idly while there's a terrified tot down there, so he swings down from the roof on a dead power line and rescues the baby from the car. But oh no! The monsters are coming! They chase them down the street, and once again I can't show you what happens, so it's make shit up time again. 3G sees a bird wearing a fedora in the sky who says, "Pass me the baby, sir, for I am a stork, and therefore have ample experience with babies." So he tosses the tiny tot into the air, the stork catches him, and they fly off to safety. But oh shit, the monsters have now realised everyone's on the roof, and one of them gives this Expendable a belly chomp. So they fight them off, and then because they're such a lovely bunch, they decide to throw the injured Expendable off the roof as a distraction so they can go and fetch Misery's motorbike. Back to Henrietta Pheasant, who is still trying to get out of this bloody shop! I mean, for Christ's sake, lass, it shouldn't be that hard! Put some effort into it! Then suddenly she gets attacked by the horrific spawn of a monster and that poor cat. And after a wee scuffle, she bashes its head in against the unbreakable window, which makes a small hole for her to chip away at. Meanwhile, the others fashion together a makeshift catapult out of the motorbike, some detritus, and most of the Expendable's clothes. So now their ludicrous plan is to catapult one of the Lal fellas over onto the roof of the police station, because that couldn't possibly go wrong.
Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
By this point, Henrietta has managed to break this unbreakable window enough to climb out. So she puts her pants over it and gets out right before the monsters get her. Then instead of running for her life, she just slowly wanders down the street, because what's the rush? Back to the others, who are ready to launch Goatee over to the police station. And off he goes! Landing splat in the middle of the street, for fuck's sake! Then the monsters rush over and rip him to shreds. Wonderful. Oh no! 3G has been impaled through the head by a metal pipe! Somebody do something! No one? Okay. Meanwhile, Tripod initiates Plan B and sneaks down onto the street under a trash can. He picks up the key to the police station and makes his way there. Hey, trash can! Little help! Oh, you could just ignore me too! Christ, even the little people are rude! Unfortunately, when Tripod makes it to the door, that bugger vagabond lights a stick of dynamite and drops it outside next to him, which explodes, blowing off the trash can handle, which flies through the air and right through the neck of Henrietta Pheasant. Then the monsters break through the door onto the roof, and the last shot of the movie is Henrietta Pheasant bleeding out over the credits. which is actually a pretty cool shot, and is the only positive thing I have to say about this movie. So, will the roof rascals survive the monster onslaught? Will 3G recover from his severe headache? Will I even bother with Feast 3? Find out next time on Feast! Next time being right now.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So, Feast 3 begins with Henrietta Pheasant lying in a puddle of her own blood. And hey, she's not dead after all! Meh, easy come, easy go. Meanwhile, our gang of gimmers are fighting off the monsters on the roof. And I think it's about time we give the 2 surviving Expendables an introduction. Anyway, Misery Cubed ends the monster attack by using her motorbike as a makeshift buzzsaw, which proves really effective. Oh, and somehow 3G is still up and about despite his cavernous cranium catastrophe. So they make their way downstairs because now they're simply going to walk over to the police station, making their entire plan to use the catapult more pointless than a pencil without a point. What's the bloody point in you? You're no longer fit for purpose, you pencil bastard! Then someone new rolls into town and crashes through the front door of the police station. Oh, and fella, Pyramid Head wants his bonce back. So the gang make their way into the station too and introduce themselves to Vesticles. Hey, pipe down, 3G.
The heck happened to him?
It would take so long to explain, it's honestly not worth it. Then they all quite literally beat the shit out of Vagabond for not letting them in. Well, at least they're in the station now where the jail cell can keep them safe if they get attacked. But Vesticles isn't too keen on sticking around.
You people want to wait here and die?
No, we'd rather wait here and live, to be honest, mate. So Vesticles suggests they arm up and head for Wanted's office, grab the keys to the used cars and then get the hell out of this place. Goldilocks is worried they won't make it though. So Vesticles shows her how to use a gun to defend herself.
You gonna be able to handle that, little lady?
I can handle it.
What the fuck?
You all saw it! He had a gun! Then the monsters attack, so they all hop inside the jail cell where it's safe. Thankfully, it does keep the buggers out, but then they hear a horrible screeching sound which lures the monsters away. So they continue with the plan and head for Wanted's car lot. On the way there, Goldilocks finds Tripod alive and thinks, he'll make a good rucksack. Meanwhile, Wanted abandons Vagabond and hides in this metal container, but Tit for Tat and Tat for Tit follow him in and give him a schmack for leaving the group. Turns out there's some other townsfolk in there too, but then Wanted backs up with his arse against this hole to the outside, where this monster, you can't say what happens next again, can you? Nope. So let's just say, the monster outside whips out its turns a person into a monster gun that it bought from the internet monster gun shop and shoots Wanted in the back from through the hole, who immediately starts to mutate. And a short time later, Misery Cubed opens the container to find...
That's odd. Usually the blood gets off at the second floor.
And at the back of the container she sees a Wanted monster hybrid with very... And instead of killing Misery, it just runs off. Thankfully, Tit for Tat and Tat for Tit manage to evade the slaughter by hiding above too. Then they spot Vagabond sneaking into his secret den. So they follow him down, but it isn't long before the monsters break in and kill Tat for Tit, which pisses Tit for Tat right off. So she throws Vagabond at the beastie and then sets them both on fire instantly by throwing a lit match at them. And that's why using gasoline as aftershave is a very bad idea. Anyway, Misery starts up the bus and rolls on out of there. Meanwhile, the others have made it to the office, but 3G can't remember the combination to the safe because he is missing a not insignificant amount of brain. Then they hear the bus come in, so they run outside. But Misery and Tit for Tat don't stop to let them on because they suck. Then they get some instant karma as the bus breaks down. So everyone piles in just as the monsters find them, but as they're trying to break in, they all start to recoil and run away from a high-pitched noise. And oh my god, who's this cloaked cock?
I control the monsters. I wish them to leave, and they leave.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be a lot.
He tells everyone they can use the sewers beneath them to make it safely out of town.
You want us to take these fucking storm drains all the way back to the big city?
Since when the hell can Tit for Tat talk? And why hasn't she said anything until now? And why hasn't this movie ended yet?
There's still over half an hour to go, I'm afraid.
Oh, why, Ken? Why? So they all go down into the sewers and Bartender sounds like me whenever our Prime Minister opens his mouth.
Shut the fuck up, you dim-witted cunt.
They continue through the tunnels, but then hear that high-pitched sound again. Turns out it's coming from Def Leppard's hearing aid, which means he can't control the monsters, they just don't like the noise it makes. Speaking of which, they're being followed.
Oh shit, they're tracking us.
Language, please.
Why are you even asking? You speak English too! Then they come to this heavy grate, which Tit for Tat manages to squeeze through. But then she gets attacked by some knobheads who've gone half manky after being sicked on by the monsters, who proceed to stab Tit for Tat to death for far longer than necessary, before some blade-wielding, hockey helmet-wearing bellend shows up to give the baddies a slice of death pie.
Who are you?
So he agrees to help them find a way out, but suddenly... Then he and Bartender fall down this chute while Def Leppard holds the monsters back with his hearing aid. And oh dear, it looks like Saggy Nuts has followed them into the sewers too. Down in the lower levels, Tony One Arm gets attacked again and bitten on his one remaining arm. Bart deals with the monster though and says they need to cauterize the wound or he'll end up losing that arm too. So he pours some gunpowder onto it and lights a match.
Did you learn this in the Marines? No. Rambo 3.
Back to the others who seem to have found out where all the half-manky folk are hanging out, and they've got some sort of underground rave going. Now, there is a fight scene here against the half-mankeys, but once again I can't show you it.
Why, how gross is this bit?
Oh, it's nothing gross. It's just the entire scene has the worst strobe lighting I have ever seen! It honestly makes the strobe lighting gunfight in Uwe Boll's Alone in the Dark movie seem like a cure for photosensitive epilepsy. So instead here's Bartender and Tony No Arms playing the most one-sided game of slaps of all time. Then they join in the fight too, with Tony like, how am I supposed to fight?
I don't have any arms.
You only need legs to kick ass, baby boy.
So he gets to kicking, but doesn't do much damage because he's armless. Oh, and Misery Cubed gets sicked on by a monster, so she's on a time limit now. Then everyone takes off just as Saggy Nuts rocks up, so they all climb up this ladder to escape. But Tony No Arms can't climb because he has a phobia of ladders, so he just stays behind and gets ripped to pieces by the monsters instead. Then they come to this big shutter that they've got to shuffle under, but a monster is hot on their tail, so Def Leppard tries to hold it back with his hearing aid, but this time it runs out of battery and he gets splattered by the beastie, which is then killed by Saggy Nuts. It pulls the shutter open with ease and grabs hold of 3G because he still hates him for nailing his wife, So I do find it a bit odd that it pulls the pipe out from his head to kill him, as he's really just putting him out of his misery, isn't he? And then the massive monster is somehow overpowered by Goldilocks, who knocks it to the ground and everyone starts biting it because they haven't had anything to eat for ages. Then she finishes it off by hammering 3G's pipe through its head. Job done. And so the day is saved. Ish. They find a way out. Misery Cubed rides off on a dirt bike with a dead monster to keep her company while she rots to death. Then Bart gets naked and a giant robot squashes Goldilocks and Tripod before this random fella comes out of nowhere to sing over the end credits. End of movies. And there we have it, folks. Feast 2 and 3 are two of the most disgusting and baffling movies I've ever seen. And unfortunately, I can't say I enjoyed them very much. I think the original movie struck a good balance between gory horror and gross-out comedy, but I found Feast 2 and 3 to just be mean-spirited and gross in all the wrong ways, with humour that fell flat more than it landed for me. So I'm afraid I can't really recommend them, and that's a damn shame. So, Feast 2 and 3, what did you think of them? Did you like them? Did you love them? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, here's some outtakes for you. I got the fucking thing. I need a pencil. It's not even a pencil. It's just a long cylindrical piece of wood with a bit of black on the end of it. I don't even know where it came from. But it's mine now. Let's just say... Oh, bloody hell, I'm sweating my arse off in this, like. Let me know in the comments below while... And as usual... As usual, it's not that hard, you brain fail bastard, but you keep doing it! Only took us about 15 fucking attempts to get that right. Bastard! Just talking normally, and then all of a sudden, here's some outtakes for you! I don't know.